Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Indie Impressions. I'm Nick RockLeeSmile, and this is the Zium Exposition, a collaborative effort by a number of multimedia indie developers and artists in general, where we will be traversing the eclectic electronic grounds of, well, the multimedia space, I suppose. We'll be discovering art and figuring out what's going on. There's a tutorial to be visited, but first, you know we must always check out our settings. 1920 by 1080 high. Alright, the settings menu, it leaves a little to be desired, but to be fair, I don't really want too much, or I don't expect too much. Maybe some VSync would be cool. Volume setting, maybe a music slider would be cool. But we're going to do most of our music slidering from the Windows volume mixer, if necessary. Alright, put that away. Oh, there are actually more settings, but they're in the game. Okay, fair enough. Let's check out the tutorial. Now, this really brings me back. This is a Unity game, by the way, and if you know anything about the series Indie Impressions, well, I was known for downloading some Unity games. In fact, it was one of my favorite things to do, because they often had a pre-launch launcher where I could set the resolution and some texture settings and stuff before I actually got into it. And I was very happy with that. So it's a blast from the past. Oh, I can sprint. Alright, fair enough. I didn't know sprinting was necessary here. Oh, diegetic menus. They happen to point us in the tutorial in every direction. This is a sign. One of many different kinds of signs by the developers. If you see the mouse scroll while zooming, you can adjust your zoom FOV. Artist name, year. There will be even more information here sometimes. I mean, I couldn't ask for a more accurate depiction of the museum experience than that. Press escape to access your menu in the tutorial and any scene other than the main gallery menu is simplified. When in the main gallery, your menu is also the artist catalog. Oh, I'm noticing some noise, by the way, in the frame. We'll see if that enhances or makes a massive difference one way or the other. Your artist catalog will fill up as you explore. Oh, nice! So we can warp to things we've discovered. So it's a collect-a-thon as well, incidentally. Oh, lovely. They tried to sort of materially compose the process of viewing art in a gallery. And I'm very appreciative of that. I love when material composition is emphasized. A perceptoscope. Press Z to use. What will I perceive? Oh my god. I feel like I've fallen into a Myst game suddenly. What's over there? The old one? Which is a better in-game exhibition, this or Bubsy 3D? I suppose you're talking about the Bubsy 3D art exhibition specifically, not the game Bubsy 3D on the PS1. If it's the first one, well, I shouldn't judge, I haven't played this yet. This way, please. For the Zium Exposition Ropeway, next stop Archival Plateau. Thank you for visiting the Grand Expo. Oh, I'd love to, rebake these shadows a little bit higher res. But it's not up to me, unfortunately. This reminds me of a GoldenEye level, since we were talking about that earlier. The one with the walkway, I think it was just called Caves, actually. If you want higher res, this isn't going to be for you. I just meant because they were trying to mimic the look of shadows, but I don't particularly mind. Oh, is this like a construction... like a cardboard ship? It's got a little, like, Little Big Planet look to it. The old mine. I thought it said the old one. Some Cthulhu mythos. How's the audio for you? I know it's very quiet at the moment, but if you need me to turn it up, just let me know. I am rooted in place, by the way, while we're on our trip. Probably to keep my capsule from bouncing around as the platform raises and lowers on the y-axis. Yeah, there's some, like, subtle chiming kind of sounds happening, but they're very quiet. I don't know if I alt-tab out of this if it's going to freeze. I'm just waiting until this is over. Oh, wow. This is surprisingly elaborate. This feels a bit like the Half-Life 1 intro scene. You know, on the tram. Maybe that's what they're going for. Research and development. Love the rainbow. It's a sensory journey. You think the G-Man would visit here? Oh, this is totally like a freaking Mist thing. Whoa. Very impressive. What am I looking at there? Oh, the G-Man already has visited. Okay, yeah, he's known to do that. Okay, I'm gonna just turn the music up then. Prepare yourself in case we are blasted. Oh, they had this at Space Mountain. I remember when I was like 8, we went to Disney World. Went through one of these. It was very exciting. And then they just shot us through a bunch of dark tunnels. And then into like a fire pit, but it wasn't real fire. Don't worry, we were just children. Disney, we're talking like mid-90s, so Disney didn't start burning children until the mid-2000s. Took them another 10 years to figure it out. There should be some audible sound now, it's just very quiet still. I appreciate that you could see through the floor, since they bothered to create a landscape for us like that. I think we're settling. All right. We've arrived. Oh, that was a hell of a journey. Well met. Oh, is there stuff over there? Oh, I didn't think they'd let me walk into all these spaces. Oh, all it's missing is a nice crisp crunch sound as I walk through the snow. Ooh, Mountain Cube. I think Hello Games invented these. What will it lead to, though? A rusty factory? Oh. Now we're talking. What's this? The exposition elevator. Yeah, don't mind if I do. Let's use it. Please secure the door. Oh, I've never had fondue while in Switzerland. I look forward to that day if I ever get to do that. Sounds lovely. What did you dip, if you remember? Do I have any fondues and don'ts? I'll tell you what, I'll do you one better. I've got a whole list of didgeridoos and don'ts. Largely don't use one while in you know, a quiet place, because it's going to make quite a lot of noise. It's quite the load it's taken on here. Are we getting loaded? Fruit and meats. The meats were steakish. Steak-adjacent meats. Very nice. It's like a hot pot, but with cheese. I'm a bit confused because I don't think this even had a loading screen for me. Well, it's installed on an SSD, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe it doesn't like being streamed. Did you get a sandwich with Swiss cheese while you were in Switzerland? Or do they just call it cheese there? I wonder if this crashed. This is seeming too long to be typical. Have you crashed, game? What are you doing here? You being a little silly? It doesn't look like it's crashed. Oh, Unity Crash Handler 64. Does that mean it's crashed, or is that just always running? It's probably always running. Yeah, the CPU is changing load 42%. It's not maxed out. No, process is not hung. Just kind of chilling. Had no problem getting out of the process to look in the task manager, so... Could it be in some sort of infinite recursion loop in the process of loading? Which is not a crash, but it's not... It's like a soft lock within loading? Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. Might not be. PC load letter. Yeah, it just means you need paper. Yeah, this does not seem correct at this point. If I hit escape, it moves my cursor to the center of the screen for whatever reason. Alright, I've Alt F4'd. I'll try again. Maybe because I idled on the title screen for like an hour. Maybe I got like some memory leak action going on. What is introduction, then? Is that what we just did? Where should I start? Should I go to introduction, or should I go to the exposition now? Maybe we were loading from introduction to exposition. It should go to 3, okay. I think I've clicked it. Yeah. Oh. Is this just what's on the other end of the... Oh. Perfect. Well, you couldn't have asked for a more convenient spot for it to crash, I suppose. Exposition Pavilion. This is Switzerland here. Oh, you're right, it is Switzerland. Little space pavilion. I don't know what that guy is, but he's pretty interesting. He's got some, like, feathery kind of ocean tendrils going on. If you believe it is so. Welcome to Switzerland. What does this do again? Oh no. Oh! I shouldn't have done that. Alright, I've been foiled again. Quit to desktop. Load it again. Third try, we'll get it. I think once we get out of here... Oh, that's where I came out of. Right. Once we get out of here, we'll be cool. No running, please. It kind of kills the vibe. Okay, I'll try. Wait, the scale on it? I guess they've physicalized the actual space of going from the top of the summit down to here. Running is okay. Oh. Well, thank you. Oh, there's other patrons, I suppose, over there. Or are they cardboard patrons? None are turned away from the door to art. Yeah, I'd say anybody that wants to be an artist is an artist, and it's really that simple. And any walls you try to put up is just gatekeeping. I've had this happen on a couple of occasions where a museum... It'll seem like you're about to get into it, and then it's like... It didn't stick. Like, oh, I was about to go get a ticket, but I can't find a good place to park. So, let's just go back and we'll move. Or, you know, oh, I needed this type of ticket, not that type of ticket. So we got to go back to the front again. I guess that's the kind of experience we're having today. You got to work for it a little. The Tower Monument by Michael Berto, 2024. That's this year for another day. The Tower Monument... I hope it's not a heist. The Tower Monument is both homage and standalone. The visage is inspired by the Tower of the Sun by Taro Okamoto, which remains the remnant icon of the 70s Osaka Expo. I love visiting that place, the old expo site in Osaka, and I make the trip every time I'm in town. I love the idea of the Great World Expositions, and that their relics, often towering monuments that become in and of themselves unique to the country and the culture that they were created within. The Tower Monument is a similar structure made for the Zium Exposition and for the Grand Expo of Switzerland. By Michael Berto, curator. Well, thank you, Michael. This is lovely. I don't know how so many people got out to this very remote exhibition, but I'm glad that you found a nice spot for it. The guide rails are a little sketchy, considering the drop on both sides, but, you know, we'll be careful. Life's got inherent danger to it, doesn't it? Switzerland, enjoy a steaming bowl of water soup after a day of skiing. Quantum physics, I do. Alright. Oh. These don't really stop us at all. Now that I think about it, they really never have. If you're desperate, you'll probably find your way over these. It's just a suggestion. Please don't go over them. It would be very uncool of you to do that, is kind of the suggestion to be made. What is this? Oh, the bake anomaly. Bakery baked lighting 3D mesh textures material light probe. Is the pink the anomaly? What's up there? Oh. Is that the anomaly? I can't zoom enough to see it. It looks like there's a directory out of bounds-ish. You can get quite a good zoom, but not good enough. Oh, you haven't thought about Tower Heist in a while. Well, it's time to start. Tower Heist is very important to think about at least once a month. Oh, lovely. No, I don't think it's an anomaly hunting game, but if they dressed it up like this, that would be pretty incredible. Quite a lot of work. The Zium Exposition Gallery Architecture, Leonard Lemaitre. Apologies if I butcher everybody's names. Ooh, lasagna. Who's this? Is that a little cat? Is that a cat that loves lasagna? He's very small, so probably not. Also, it looks like a book of lasagna. It's a book I've never read, but probably should. Ooh, what is this? Watermelon. Delightful. I would totally have a rest there. The giant horned melon. Cool. Oh, this is Made in Abyss. I watched that anime. It's a show about torturing children, kind of. I mean, that's not really how it started out, but it ended up there. It's not very pleasant some of those times. Hello. Doll's House. Quinn Spence, 2024. Stand on the rug in front of the doll's house and press Z to shrink to visit the dollhouse. Cool. Very clever. This is what's called activating the medium. Stand on the rug in front of the doll's house. Yeah, okay. We're visiting. Oh. It wants me to climb, apparently. I want to visit. We're not meant to go in? We're just meant to kind of look at it on our scale. From pre-approved viewing angles. You want my anime list? I wouldn't charge you for it. I actually tried to assemble one, and then they wanted something from me I was not comfortable with, but I don't remember what it was anymore. They wanted to, like, take my data in a way that I didn't like, and I backed away. Who is the author? It is not the artist. It is not the collective. It is the self. Art is the fruit of consciousness. We are the fruit of consciousness, too. So in this way, perhaps art is the seed and the self is the flesh. Or vice versa, or both. Ooh, I like that thought. Art is not inert. Art is consciousness. There are stories in everything, no matter what you do. Which is why the very act of creating art is also art. And trying to limit it or gatekeep what art can be is fruitless and silly. Thank you, A Archival. I'm going to presume we enter from the right, but it doesn't seem to matter, actually. Oh, lovely. This is, kind of reminds me of like a PS2 tech demo or something. You talk to the devs, and they're like, this is groundbreaking technology. No one's ever been able to achieve this before. We're using the emotion engine. It has bubbles. I remember in Nights into Dreams, where there was, like, an entire AI system. I think they called it, like, the life system or something, around those little angels. It was, like, so much effort spent on those little dudes, and you don't even ever know what they do. Yeah, fish of 3 sizes and shapes. Is that one getting more boisterous? It is, isn't it? It's bent now. I hope you're okay, fish. Oh. Fish. I don't know how to say that. Chick 2024. Oh, Brutalist. This looks like a Quake 3 level that I've made. We got Z glasses? I can't have them, though. Oh, press Z. Okay, I've got my Z glasses now. Z-Wave. The audio tour. Audio tour available. Use Z-Wave radio. I can't, like, take it, though? Oh, click to pick up and put down. Oh, right. Press F to change channels, H to hide, N to listen, I for instructions. That's true, it does do that. I want to listen, please. Pippenbar's face and facade radio stations will activate and the environments will tune to the respective stations. To hear these nodes, keep your radio on one of the stations and activate the radio with N when in proximity. Oh, I see. So it's not useful yet. Jay Castillo's audio tour was written and recorded in context during the Zium Exposition's development. Some aspects of the Zium Exposition that are referenced may have changed. The audio tour has not been edited to reflect these changes. This was an intentional design decision by the artist and curator. To hear the tour, search the environment for small signs that indicate the audio tour is available in that area. Got it. Don't forget, you can warp to any previously discovered exhibit via your catalog menu. I'm like a prospector. I get a big sieve and I take the world into it. I shake it, and I shake it around until all the dirt and sand and dust falls away, and all I'm left with is the gold. The gold is the art. The gold is enlightenment. Gold. The perception of the artwork is the engine of the artwork. Without you, the artwork does not go anywhere. Without you, the artwork is unbounded and enriches all that there is simply by your being or beholding. Oh, love that. Oscillates like Christmas lights. Ask yourself the question and then answer it. Confirm the answer with yourself, then ask the question to the artwork. It will answer. The marketplace of ideas is a ruse. There is only one idea, and that idea glimmers and reveals to us ideas. And importantly, it is a crafted gemstone we all possess. Neat. All that, and we just got to the actual museum now. There's all the people. Wow. I've seen some architecture a bit like this. I've not seen it so dynamic in the center like this, though. Usually if they do ribs, it's it kind of leaves gaps all the way down. It wouldn't be in both directions at 45s like that. Okay, so these are the posters we saw on the way in. It seems to be the set all together. Imagine you got these printed and put them around your house. You could do that. Oh, this is cool. Wow. Great color palette. Maiden's Tomb by Tsu Sishi. Made for the game Maiden's Tomb. I didn't know that game. But now I do. It's very creepy, isn't it? Should I just go wherever? Look who we have here. A blessed image. Photogrammetry cat. You might not be able to see it for a moment, but once you see it, you see it. Is it in a clamshell? I actually can't really tell from this angle. It could just be like a blanket or something, but... Well, the way I tend to explore museums is very meandery, so I think I'll just do what I usually do and kind of go where my heart leads. Okay. Got some curtains. That's a better shot there. But they did back face culling, so you could see through the other way to make sure the cat's always visible. I'm assuming if we see it from that side, those faces will be present. Leonard's curtains. During development, we developed a number of assets during the art test. These curtains were one of them. During a co-development call, Leonard placed the curtains here. They look very nice. We never moved them. Alright, I respect it. Liked them so much, we baked the lighting around them. Oh. Light source doesn't seem to emanate from anywhere, but I guess that's one of the bonuses of making a digital museum. The ambience doesn't have to necessarily be reflective of actual constraints. Do you see the bounced red lighting on the wall here? Really enhances the ambiance of a room to have bounced lighting. Oh, audio tour available. Okay. H. And... N.
This is one of my favorite spots in the exposition. One of the things that
That's too quiet.
Museums in the first place is that they don't pretend to be physical places. There's so much more you can do with digital space, whether that be giant artworks or teleporting perceptoscopes. I think the reason Leonard's curtains appealed to me so much then is because it resists another layer of artifice. By keeping a remnant of the development process, the exposition doesn't so much break its fourth wall as decide not to build it. Not only is it proudly a digital space, it's also proudly a piece of software made by people.
Fair enough. I missed an audio log already. Is it for this? Oh, we can just have music now. At the start, oh. Guess I might as well before I get too far. Oh, see, now it's tremendously loud. We need a bit of audio balancing because the radio is way too quiet compared to that. Oh.
It makes sense that one of your early welcomes to the Zium Exposition is a handful of different kinds of maps. Mapping is always meaning-making, and as the inscriptions from A-Archival Arcosium in this room remind us, so is art. As a critic, my job isn't to tell you what meaning to take from any of this, but to share with you the meaning that I found, and to hope that it gives you a grounding from which to deepen your own understanding. For me, then, the Ziums have always been about space. Not outer space, but the experience of being in an environment. Actually, for me, almost any software that models in 3D and lets you move around is about space. This is why a critic can only give their own version of meaning. But the Ziums are particularly interesting explorations, since they approximate the physical gallery in ways that can only be done digitally. Beginning, then, with the maps. The color-shifting model of the building you're currently standing in, well, that your avatar is currently standing in, immediately sets the stage. Firstly, this is a building. Secondly, that double reality I already alluded to. You are in it. You're also, I assume...
Oh, I walked out of the boundary. I thought I was free to walk once it was playing. Alright, well, fair enough. We get the idea. Unfortunately, I don't want to listen through the first bit again. What will I do with this audio thing? Because I'm going to have to, like, up and lower the volume all the time now. Also, the charge on my radio is not fantastic. It's like running out of juice. I like that there's a little dead-end nook you can walk down.
An audio tour of a digital exhibition has extra subjectivity because I'm not sure if how I'm being presented the artwork is even the same way that you're being presented the artwork. I know...
Ah. That's lame. It should just play until you stop it.
An audio tour of a digital exhibition has extra subjectivity because I'm not sure if how I'm being presented the artwork is even the same way that you're being presented the artwork. I know that things have changed in the exhibition since the build that I'm working from. I'm sure there are things I'm saying which simply aren't true. But right now, for me, even if this is just because of my graphics card or my monitor settings, Doucette's paintings seem to glitter from across the room. As the details shrink down, they vie for pixel space and shimmer. The juxtaposition with the starkness of Berto's trial run for the end of the world in the next room, visible through the open partition, encourages lingering here and taking it all in, like the promise of a palette cleanser coming up next. Having said that, it also makes Berto's work all the more striking in comparison when you do get there, particularly if you turn back and see the busy geometric patterns on the boundary wall. It's almost a jump scare, like the hectic glittering from Doucette is bleeding through.
That's a very interesting observation. I feel like it's worth actually underscoring that. A lot of us grew up looking at very low-res images, and so aliasing and anti-aliasing, like that question of glimmering kind of shimmeriness, I don't consciously think about it, but it is visible in the frame, and the fidelity of the frame, the way that the frame is received, is going to be drastically different depending on a whole bunch of variables that you might not have control over. Maybe set in the engine, maybe set in an INI file that isn't actually exposed to the actual application. Maybe your like NVIDIA EXE, the NVIDIA app has some settings that are changed. All of these little subtle things will change how this visual looks at various distances with LODs and stuff like that, or just based on the resolution, the size of your monitor, all these things. And we don't honestly consciously take in how much of this kind of stuff ends up a bit garbled from a distance, because we're kind of always used to, like, well, it's right in front of us. This is the addressable space that we care about. Over there, we're not there yet. We're not thinking about that beyond just, like, a surface reading. There's a shape on the wall. There's the color that we're going to go toward. Over there, there's some vague geometry that I'm not really sure what I'm looking at yet. It doesn't have to stand up perfectly, because that's kind of not how our cognition works anyway. We process things in the order we receive them, and right now, this has our attention. When we get over to there, that'll have our attention. But for now, it's just a stand-in. It's a proxy. So if it's a bit shimmery, well, it's fine. It's not meant to be as clear as that. Our regular real life doesn't really work that way either. So never really put that together, how similar some of these rendering techniques kind of analog across to our physical senses. Bob Doucette? Bob Doucette's whimsical and highly saturated paintings come from the world of dreams, sometimes bordering on surreal. His imagery is a product of a decade of theater work, puppetry, and 25 years in the world of animation. As an animation director, he was responsible for many well-known animated children's programs for PBS, including Chloe's Closet, Dive, Ollie, Dive, and Clifford's Puppy Days. I'm not sure if these are real shows or if these are like fictional shows for the purpose of this exhibition. I haven't heard of any of them, but maybe they're all real. He started in animation at Warner Bros. Seems like a very specific story for it not to be real. And was involved with many classics like Tiny Toon Adventures, well, that I've heard of, and Animaniacs, which I've also watched. His independently animated films won him many prestigious awards and honors, and his MFA thesis film, Pink Triangle, the first animated film to depict the persecution of homosexuals by the Nazis, is in the permanent collection in the New York Public Library. Wow. How did we go from an artist involved with PBS who wrote an animated film to depict the depict the persecution of the homosexuals by the Nazis to PBS firmly maintaining that Bert and Ernie are only friends, bro, don't ask too many questions? Weird. Daybreak. Acrylic on canvas. Is this its own, or is this going to give me the same speech again?
An audio tour of a digital exhibition has extra subjectivity.
Yeah, it's the same one. So as long as you're in the general realm. Although it kind of keeps popping in and out, so I don't know. I won't worry too much about it. Spirit. They are very beautiful. The faces have this kind of Cupid doll thing to them. Color palettes are somewhat restrictive, but I think it really makes the color choices pop even more. Very bold. This one's a little more variable, but it still stays in the same world of colors. Same kind of hue range. Whoa, it's a creepy face she's making. The Ursula scheming face. Beautiful. Oh, the colors are so vibrant. Imagine seeing them in real life. Yeah, it's all very Alice in Wonderland. Oh yeah, that's for sure. That looks exactly like the Alice in Wonderland Tim Burton movie, actually. Flight. Gaia. Spirit. Pink Pussy Palace. Oh yeah. What a lovely palace. Good for them. Cherry Blossom Time. Not the colors you would expect to see for Cherry Blossom Time. And I didn't look at this one. It's like Scared Tinkerbell. Daybreak. Lovely work. Quantum Matters by Michael Berto. Let's get it all sorted in the quantum realm. Yes, please. The quantum realm's been a bit out of control lately, and I think we do need to get it all sorted. An hour ago, it was a radio tower, hun. Alright. Trial run for the end of the world. Oh, perfect after playing Life is Strange. I've always enjoyed drawing telephone poles power lines. I tend to doodle them all the time. For whatever reason, an acute and gentle sequence of haunting images appeared to me one after another in an intersection of explorative drawings. This six-paneled landscape polyptych made itself known. The art emerged through the person as a vessel. You don't see a lot of polyptychs, especially with gaps this large. Right. Oh, lovely. What's that? Very ominous. It kind of reminds me of, like, crucifixions. Like these quiet hills where no one is alive. Just manned, stationed by these pillars, essentially. Flag. I found you. Chat, what do you think about these? String instrument / auto loom, the polycloth dimensional hyperharp. Oh, that's very nice. Subtle shimmer to it. Is it supposed to be so scratchy, or is that just the nature of the GIF, the way that it was compressed? I can't tell if that's... because it has a sort of a soft edge to it, I think intentionally, but I think it's made softer by the compression of the GIF, or whatever movie playback format it happens to be. It's very nice, though. It's got this symmetrical kind of balanced tension thing going to it, but it's not entirely balanced, just it's close enough. I can't really make my mind up on these. I appreciate their textural components. And I think that this coloration really works very well for this polyptych. I'm not sure I'm liking these quite as much on their own. I'm seeing like a cow skull in this one. I guess it kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the stuff I've done in the past. At least they're satisfyingly dimensional, which I do appreciate. I'm more partial to the hyper harp, was it? Polycloth dimensional hyper harp. Ebbinghaus is a dramatic reenactment of my Notes app. Every word was directly taken from a note in my Notes app, though from these notes there was a gentle intention to stitch together the cream of the crop into a narrative presented linearly. There is no randomization. Text is delivered in the same sequence during each experience of the piece. The drawings themselves were extrapolated from ideas in various notes too, chiefly... Is that supposed to say chiefly, or is that another word I've never heard of? Chiefly. The central visual motif of the piece, the fountain, were inspired by a note that simply said, "White fountain, in a pale gown, dark stones in circles, and a black crown." The intended orchestration lasts the duration of the album version of Ebbinghaus, which is 8 songs in total. However, for the Zium, I have selected a single track, the title track, Ebbinghaus. Ebbinghaus was the first track that was composed and inspired the interactive experience, and back and forth until I had effectively this experience. Everything bloomed from Ebbinghaus. I think you're missing a word there as well. Alright, let's ebb this house. Oh, I didn't realize I could walk. I thought this was just going to be an animation. It reminds me of, like, Proteus, but in black and white. There's that... Oh. Very unsettling. I was closer by saying Proteus than I realized. Shoots Pumpkin. The Little Glum. The Birthday Yuckle. What is a yuckle? Is it a type of guffaw? Oh, I can't read the text fast enough because it keeps changing. Jitterbug Radio. Saying the right thing in the right place. The right time. What did they say? well, they attach to your brain so that you can see them. But they're communicating through audio-visual signals sent from the creature in your brain. Like a little spider. An insect. And everything since then has been a dream. Shenanigans earned. The essential location where the data is held in mayonnaise. You know, a Shanghai ending. Everybody flips on stereo. Here we go. Midnight Americans. Is it randomly generating these characters? And yeah, that's what it's doing. Okay. I didn't know if these spaces had meaning at all, or if it was just all kind of happening. I think the characters are linked to the text, but the characters are random. Nice cat. I want to meet the cat again. Oh, I almost tripped over those two. You know what would really be fun is if these all stayed where you left them. But I guess you could very quickly override or overrun your CPU that way. Everything is good on the cockerel. Is the countdown... No, I thought maybe the countdown was like a setting sun as well. It just seems to be floating overhead. I do not 9 hertz, no. What's that? Can't tell what that is. It's like a stick coming out of a pond. Oh. Oh, it starts over, okay. Well, I'm not quite sure what to make of that. The music was lovely, I have no complaints. It felt a bit kind of scattershot. You could freely walk wherever you want, receive narrative in any order. I wasn't really getting much meaning, but I don't know if that was the point. Maybe it was just about meandering through your thoughts and how your thoughts can be contained and constrained in sort of a physical space. What if your thoughts inhabited their own world? Something like that. Oh yeah, I know the blurb made it clear. I was trying to maybe read into it even more than was necessary. What is that? A tiny glowing plant? It seems to be shrinking. Goodbye, plant. I'll miss you. I barely got to know you. I'll at least watch your last moment as you shrink below the tile. So small. Reverse weeds. They appear fully grown and gradually decline. Got like 6 pixels left, too. Okay, it's gone. Oh. There it goes. Interesting. I'm not missing that. I'm just looking out what's ahead. I think some of museum going, part of it is your own expectations and seeing what's around you, what's ahead, and what's behind. It's a whole experience. This is Hallway by Christopher Ferris. Oh, this is yours. Oh. My immediate feeling about it is like, you know, those lead into Disney rides where the queue takes you through these sort of facades of like a haunted mansion or whatever the theme of that ride is. I kind of feel like we're walking through one of those right now, like we're headed toward a bigger experience. Hello, friends. I love the ambience. The rain feels great to listen to. You can hear some quiet talking off in the distance. Colored lights in various rooms. Someone peeking through the window there. Oh, you know what else this reminds me of is myhouse.wad. Oh, you can see the drapes below there. Remember when you go to the facade, the cement brutalist area, and then you can see the city around you? Oh, aquarium. I like that a lot. Just different vibes everywhere you go. Is that all? I mean, it doesn't have to be more, but I like this. Just a little experience in each one. Oh, it's just quick. Okay. Oh, the door doesn't work. You're trapped. Is that part of the feeling, like you think you're about to leave, but then you don't get to leave? Probably have to quit. Oh, I wanted the doors to work, but they decided against it for bug reasons. Right. I think the aquarium is my favorite part, but I also like the cityscape a lot, too. That flickering light over there is a good touch. Well, thank you for showing us your work. There was no tour of this one, no spoken bit. Oh, very good metal sound. Very clanky. That looks exciting. Like a Muse album going on over there. Maria Lamana Nosescu Ellis Tolsma. Very bad at names. Are these photogrammetry food and flowers? Yeah, I think so. Objects. Meals. Oh, that didn't strike me as a meal. The following are a selection of meals made by my mother. There was no occasion to mark the meals, but every meal that my mother cooks, she does so inspired. And the food is just not beautiful, but delicious. The idea to preserve the artfulness of the art of cooking was a large inspiration for my collection, as well as the love for my mother's cooking. Michael Berto. Fiore. It's so weird how real it looks when it's photographed like that. Like, I know what's going on here, but it's so easy to trick my mind into thinking that it's like an actual thing. Once you see the lighting look correct and the geometry looks roughly correct, it just kind of... your mind just filters out the rest. Like, look how chunky, and you can see gaps in the mesh and all that, but, like, it doesn't matter. Your brain's just like, yeah, no, it's fine. It's probably real. Oh, that's what you were going for. Well, brilliant. Yeah, you nailed it, for sure. Ziti and meatballs. I mean, it looks delicious. I would absolutely eat that right now. I'm not even that hungry, but I would absolutely eat that. Is that lamb and risotto? With, like, a mint sauce? Lamb with pesto. Okay, yeah, okay. I was gonna say pesto, but I thought maybe it was that mint sauce that they always make. Risotto doesn't really capture quite as well, but, you know, this I think is, like, dead on. Not that it matters. This is not a contest, but I'm just, for my own personal curiosity, certain shapes seem to work better for photogrammetry than others. And this shot, it just came out like a little bit blurry compared to this one. But maybe that's because there's less specifics to look at in a noodle. Ooh, that looks very nice. What noodle is that? Tagliatelle? With some sort of chopped meat and mushrooms and some string beans? Oh, beef stroganoff with fettuccine. Fettuccine. I wonder why they didn't keep trying to capture it to get the rest of the dish, or did they just not care? Like, oh, these ones have the dish. Oh, no, that one's pretty shattered. Maybe it was for presentational reasons that they preferred it missing? So my understanding is you just take, like, a shitload of angles, or even some of them they let you kind of actively scan, and it just takes the snapshots dynamically. So the only reason that would be missing is, like, it didn't get enough sufficient data, and maybe the data got really corrupted, or the vertices were not sitting in a way that was pleasant, so it was easier to delete them rather than try to reconstruct it, because then that dish wasn't available anymore. Probably something like that. Classic. Spaghetti and meatballs, I assume. I think that's a meatball there. Just spaghetti. Delicious. And last but not least, looks like more risotto, maybe. With chunks of chicken and slices of cheese on top, maybe. Bits of carrot and spinach, pepper in there. Risotto with sweet potato. Oh, I missed the sweet potato. Okay, that's the carrots. Spinach, chicken, and parmesan. Beautiful work. I would happily enjoy any of these meals. Whoa. Oh god. It's making all the lights turn out. Oh. Oh, there's like an instant space here. Once you walk up to it. That's wild. Well, I don't want to blind anybody with the strobing, and the sound's very loud, but... interesting that it, like, deadens all your senses when you walk up to it. Loop format T, quote, tilde percent, quote, right parenthesis, semicolon 1. There is no concept. I mean, it looks like a Winamp visualizer a little bit. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It was a bit jarring hearing the sound come out of it, too. Any hidden exhibits? Oh, I could just go over the ropes, that's true. Facade audio tour. I forgot what the button is. I guess it's not here. It would be N, right? It says N when it pops up. Must just not be in the right spot yet. Doesn't it remind you when you're in the right spot? It'll pop in the corner and say, like, press N. What I did was just anytime I was stood in front of anything, I cycled through the channels. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not desperate for it or anything, but yeah, I mean, if it makes sense, I'll do it. That's surprisingly more interesting to me than this one. Oh, it's gone. Show me the forest again? Oh. Oh, wow. I too have seen Watch Dogs trailers. I'm just kidding. It reminds me of the way that they did the marketing back then. Yeah, it's a commentary on the algorithms watching people, trying to ascertain details about them, connecting them to other people. What happened to the forest? Run, forest, run. It used to be a forest here, and now it's just people in a subway, or in a airport? Probably airport. Maybe you gotta find the forest. It's moving around. Whoa. That's pretty interesting. It's like the physics of a moving vine. The forest one reminded me of when the Predator is, like, hunting Arnold Schwarzenegger in the jungle. I kind of like the juxtaposition more of nature with those algorithms applied to it. Oh, that was a nice R2-D2 sound. Yeah, I'm gonna hide the audio tour again. I'm guessing these are still photos that have just been kind of tweaked and liquefied a little bit. I don't think they're working with any actual animation or physical video file here. It's just kind of an image being worked on. I don't know, I might be wrong. Kind of looked like that one stalk was swaying slightly in the wind, but I guess I can't really tell if it's being liquefied or it's just swaying. Oh, yeah, there was like a gnat, I guess. It's grabbing that motion of the gnat flying around. That must be what it is, yeah. This area is much larger than I realized. I didn't know that this was all open. I thought it would be cordoned off in various ways across the way back. I don't really want to enter the sensory deprivation chamber this time. We're not going to read her face. Maybe a bit of a tangent to ask, but do you think some of the... and apologies if this is vaguely conspiratorial, I'm not attached to this idea in any way. Some of the pushback against rampant mask wearing by governments around the world, in addition to the pressures that we already know, do you think it was also partially to do with that they don't like people being comfortable with some semblance of anonymity? Maybe a scary question to ask, because it opens up a big can of worms. I know this has been a topic recently, especially, where governments have not enjoyed seeing people in mass at protests, and have specifically chosen certain protests to be upset about it, and not other ones. But the problem, well, in addition to the obvious problem, the other problem is there is, like, a demonstrable health benefit to wearing masks, and now you've got the two in conflict, where the government is actively advocating against public health for their own self-interest, which is a pretty wild time. In Disco Elysium, I'm talking about, of course. Specifically how this relates to Disco Elysium. Whoa. You remember Kim Kitsuragi had, like, a whole speech about this. He was very pro-mask wearing in that, and there was, like, a whole fight about it. It was ugly, but we made it through. I'm angry with my empathy. Me too. I feel like I've seen that character somewhere before. Yeah, I've been having this kind of collective and long-term gestalt that part of why I am the way I am now is because I've vastly suppressed my own feelings because of how having too much empathy causes problems for me. And I've pushed myself so far in the other direction that I've had to, like, unpack and decompartmentalize myself for literally years, and I'm still not done with it. But if I start thinking about people suffering, or specific people suffering that I care about, I can't function anymore, and it's not possible to have a life and still do that. I love the die dot pattern. So when I see a falling star, I wish that I'd be able to change the future. That's very pretty. I can almost feel the print quality of it based on how that texture looks. Like I could run my hand over it and know what it feels like without having the ability to. Ellis Tolsma, Stardust, Rizzo printed zine. Rizzo printed. Rizzo printed with 4 colors, yellow, fluorescent pink, blue, and black. It's a zine with a poem about wanting to change the world but feeling too small to do so. Very direct way of going about saying that. Where do we start? Oh, we could listen first.
Now Cisco's use of the digital space is jarring. The pillars hitting the ceiling that become black monoliths as you approach, making sharp noises, and then becoming all-encompassing when you get too close. The roped fences provide a pathway inviting you in before becoming full walls, trapping you from anything but backing out. But meanwhile, in the background, there's Tolsma's Stardust. The style is very different, blocky and bright, and it grounds the view of Now Cisco's work in the fact that the gallery has other sections. This somehow feels appropriate for Stardust, and its insistence that, as alien as a person might feel, there's a place that would make sense for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't believe there's any subtitles, and also, unfortunately, the audio is very... it could use some more mixing work to be done. The voice needs to be brought up, like, 60% louder. Because I've got this at, like, 70% volume, which is way too loud when music plays, but not loud enough to capture her voice, unfortunately. So we need some, like, normalization. It was imperceptible on my end. I didn't really clock how tree-like these structures were on my way through, which is a bit embarrassing because they're very obviously tree-like. Kind of beautiful, really. She was talking about how this part of the exhibition frames the other part, that you know there's somewhere you're headed when you go through that bit, because it's a bit oppressive over here. But you've got something a bit brighter. I mean, I'm paraphrasing tremendously. I have, in fact. Yeah, on AZ underscore, I've done a stream of that like a week ago or so. It's quite good, actually. I enjoyed it. I didn't play the whole thing, but I streamed it for a couple of hours. That should be in my highlights, if you want to go back. Oh, okay, so this is the same thing printed on both sides. And I'm not meant to go this way. The ropes block me now. Be more powerful like a comet, having an impact on the world around me. I would reshape it to be softer, build it with the leftover stardust. I would clean myself with meteor showers. That's pretty. Wrap myself up in the cosmos, my heart would orbit the sun. If everything is stars, I wouldn't feel so alien. Oh, is this readable in either direction, whichever way you approach it from? I think that might be what's going on with that. Mysterious. It's like a staff room or something. Are we not allowed to go this way? It looked like there was stuff in there, wasn't there? Or maybe it's actually the end in this direction. Excuse me. Oh, thanks for posting the VOD. This sort of evokes a feeling I've had before, a sort of unyielding love for people in the universe, but it's a love that isn't always reciprocated, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it probably is never reciprocated, because the universe does not tend to care about anything, unfortunately. It just is. I've got some lovely bit badges across the bottom. Second only to bit bams. Oh, I didn't see this one. Huh. In a way, it's kind of like the way your brain is mapping your body movements as you're contorting yourself around. And there's also something very surreal about a man just kind of dancing quietly in a parking lot. But I don't think that's part of the statement necessarily. Maybe it is. Time Machine by Richard Walsh. Time Machine is an exploration of time as a concept. Oh, we just played that game. As applied through the lens of narrative, time is relative, time is optional, time isn't real. Wait, how is time optional? Time is everything, time is nothing. In this small set of exhibits, the concepts and representations of time as a narrative device are explored. The player is encouraged to participate and interact with various displays and subvert whichever pieces they choose through the desired method of play. Okay. I choose Chloe. Do you ever get, like... I don't think frustrated is the right word, but, like, sort of option paralysis when you're at a museum? Where you feel like you're being pulled in so many different directions, you almost can't concentrate on anything because you kind of want to go everywhere at the same time. And so you're just not really able to be in the moment properly. I feel like that a lot when I'm looking at exhibits. It's kind of helpful, actually, that they pull you into specific things occasionally. What's the time? It's 9:15. It's time to have a bath. Time abstracted. The way in which the construct of time is represented within a narrative can greatly impact the message it sends. A booming monolithic bell tower or an alarm clock buzzing in a dark room. The presentation can change everything you perceive about time. Here, time is abstract into seemingly nonsensical patterns and colors. You are an alien, having time explained to you through abstract forms. But you remember, right? All of us had to learn what time even was at one point in our lives. We were blissfully unaware of this at the time of our birth. That things take place in a chain of causation. We were just kind of like, well, at this moment, I am here. And that was kind of as far as our thoughts went. Don't be late. A specific time can be used to mark a deadline and create tension. These gates will always and forever lower themselves at the same time. Set your watch and don't be late, or be stuck behind the gate arm for a moment or two. Main exhibit backroom entrance will be closed every minute from the 54th to 57th second, every hour between the 54th minute and 31 seconds to the 55th minute and 49 seconds. Please use main exhibit and exit to enter the rear of the exhibit during these times. Cool cola. That is cool. Stop clocks. A single moment in time is often used to emphasize an important event within a narrative. A story or one's life, your story, is a string of connected moments. Here you are encouraged to participate in setting the clocks to a single moment from your own story. Set the hours, minutes, and seconds to those of an important moment in your life and stand back on the footstep marker behind you to observe the clocks, forever frozen in your own memory. Take some time to reflect on this moment before moving on. Use the red hour, minute, and second adjustment arrows to set the desired moment in time. When ready, press the green set time button to set all clocks in this exhibit to your moment in time. Gently step back a few paces and stand on the footstep marker. Look up at the large central clock to fill your field of view and reflect on this moment and its importance. Oh, that's cool. I didn't think they'd model all of it like that. Feature cut for time. Right, of course. See you later. Negative space. Take care. I don't know why this is so interesting to me. I don't know what this is. Oh, unfortunately, you can only see the gear work from this side. Well, I mean, obviously, you could only see it from this side, but you can't see the face through the floor on this side. Imagine the future. Pardon our dust. This exhibit is available at another date and time. Oh, I see. It's part of an unbuilt sign. Oh. Keep talking and nobody explodes. $20.38. Time can also be used to communicate urgency or lack thereof within a narrative structure. A bomb ticking down to 0. While some brave soul tries desperately to disarm it, you are encouraged to revisit this exhibit from time to time, reflect on how the message of the digits changes the perceived urgency. Yeah, it's a fair point. If you saw a bomb that had, 20 minutes on it versus 4,768 days, you're definitely getting a different vibe from that bomb, although it is still a threatening thing inherently. You could say that the bomb was set off to detonate at the time of your death, and everybody has their own individual bomb. Obviously, you wouldn't know what that timer is set to, but it does change the feeling of it. You probably wouldn't, jump on it from a height. Oh, right, I forgot we could look below from here. It's just kind of this precariously hanging shipping container. Oh, there's no way to leave. All right, okay. Well, if the bomb was, say, attached to you, and there was no running from it, yeah, it would definitely feel different. Oh. Now you could fall off that. What's over there? Oh, was this the way in? Oh yeah, it's part of the ferry system or whatever, the tram. Oh my gosh. This area is wild. Wow. Is that Apep? Very creepy. Bughead. Hello, Bughead. You're surprisingly ornate for having a bughead. I like your gold rivulets. You look a bit like you got a turkey on your head, too. Like a lobster crab turkey. Make a new type of meat out of that. Let's go upstairs first. What is that? Bug car? Oh my gosh, there's all sorts of wild stuff up here. Whoa. Alien. Oh, you can see the back of it. Yeah, because why would you waste faces on that? You don't need to. Did you used to dream about, like, what aliens might look like? Because I used to think, like, what's the weirdest kind of construction of a life form that I could think of? And over and over and over again, I would be quashed in my ambitions when I realized many stranger things already exist on the seafloor than I could think of. And also, probably, things aren't just being designed... well, being designed, probably not the way to look at it. Aren't ending up designed the way that they are arbitrarily. So there is a sort of convergence of ideas when it comes to the way things tend to be or look. For instance, things like to evolve into crabs a lot. The harpy helmet. I see it. Corso helmet. Oh, another lovely crab. You should be able to wear all of these and become a kid chameleon. This is the chainmail helmet. It's got a wine stopper at the top. Fancy stelmet. It kind of seems like things taken from a fictional history book. Big bug. It's true. I don't really want a bug like you. Oh, is there pyramid fuel in it? I can't really look over the back very well. Oh god, don't fall off. What is going on? It's a burial bug. It's very odd seeing it with 4 legs like that as well. Oh, it doesn't have 4 legs. The middle legs are up at the back, tied over the top. Did you know bees have a weird number of eyes? I learned this recently, and I didn't know it until I was nearly 40, but bees have a very odd number of eyes. I think they have 5 eyes. The teeth are terrifying. Kind of reminds me of Reptile from Mortal Kombat a little bit. Zimu head. Could certainly be a character in an Elder Scrolls game. Soldier head. Yeah, I could see it. Got a little of that Sam Fisher 3-eye action. Oh. Lovely. Robot head 1. Are there other robot heads? Probably. Manticore mask. One of my favorite styles of metal, Manticore. I also like apple core. And I have a TV that looks like an apple. Saint head. Very Mad Max. I like it. I like all of them. Isn't Zimu an SNES emulator? It does sound kind of familiar now that you say that. Dagger. Are those hands? Oh, what's going on here? There's like a... something going on with the chest that looks a little like a face mask? A Tearman. The eyes. They're kind of cursed. Well, very good textural stuff there. This is King Charm. Really turning on the charm for me now. The eyes again. Why are you trapped in that body? Hey, you've got a gun as well. Is that like... kind of looks like one of the Half-Life 2 rifles, but no, it's not. Soldier. Statue. Very nice. Mosaic work. Fancy axe with intaglio. Broken statue. Something about a shattered human form, like oversized human form in a physical space always sort of does it for me. I'm just kind of interested in that. The color of this is great too. It seems very magical. Archway. Yeah, this captures my interest tremendously. I would want to know more about this. That as well. That's creepy. Idol. The head's just entirely gone, and there are ferns, it seems, blooming from it. What is this? This is like a particular energy to these. Like old school SMT energy or something. Gnome. It's like cursed PS1 kind of stuff, but like higher fidelity. Buddy, buddy, two in walls. Tim Walls? Buddy, buddy. Be kind to your stomach. Or what? You gonna make me? Cigarettes are the most agreeable way of doing something. I don't know what. Yes, please. I kind of want to know what the cigarettes are the most agreeable way of. I'm pretty sure that's the end of this path. I thought maybe it continued on. There's no, like, door outside upstairs? I don't think so. No, you could just jump off. I don't think this is a viable way of reaching anything, though. Oh, there's a red beam of light. What was that? There must be something strobing or oscillating upstairs. Okay. So we've done a complete loop around this floor now. I'm not sure if I actually saw mostly everything, though. There is a staircase to the back, as well as a staircase in the internal... in the center area here. I think it's just 2 floors? Oh, cigarettes are the most agreeable way of ignoring life. Lovely, thank you. Lagoteca. Pietro Rigi Riva. Oh. Wow. LSD Dream Emulator much? Great sound effect. Love the colors. Don't know what I'm looking at, but very intrigued. Okay, I think we're meant to stay in that spot. floating book. It's a bit unfinished swan, maybe. Don't know what those are supposed to represent. We've stumbled on something. Can you tell us? There's just a little plinth here. Is this just because this noise is so satisfying we want to keep hearing it? I don't know if there's more or what, but it seems like no. Alright. You made your point. Movements and Modulations by Farfama. Music composed by Greg Nunn. Epilepsy warning. There is a unique sequence with many flashing light sources within this exhibit. I see that. Do we want to look at that? Or is this going to cause anyone difficulty? I don't want that to be the case. Oh, there's a massive hand. Oh, that must be where the light's coming from. Hello, Master Hand. Cool. It's digital quilting. Ptolemy. Crochet by hand from ancient Roman crochet pattern. Ropen? I only saw the pre-10 p.m. one. Josh Ropen. Alright, if this is a troubling thing for anybody... Wow. That is intense. Yeah. That is a lot. Really interesting to look at. I think a younger me would have stayed in there for half an hour. I think that's as much as I needed of that. But it is very cool. Yeah, I think this is photogrammetry the same way as those, the bowls of food were down here. If you remember those from earlier. They basically document a physical object from every possible angle and reconstruct it into a 3D mesh. And in this case, it's, you know, it's not that 3D, but it's a little bit. Gilgamesh, a staging area prequel to Gilgamesh by Zilla Saul. Oh, what a silly guy! Just like a mini lion with a big ball tail. Yeah, I'd play this. Oh, I didn't know I was allowed in. There are poems inside of you that paper can't handle? Really? Well, paper's pretty much handled everything I've thrown at it up until now. But maybe I haven't tried hard enough? They kissed each other and made friends. They discussed blank together, gap. Okay. Yes, no, bye. Sorry about all this. I shall die too. Shall I not be like Enkidu? Dance or die. Oh. There's a stone fish here. I'd like to meet him. Machine ni stavi? Machine of something. I can't get home. I'm sorry. Oh, don't leave cars there. Yeah, don't do that. Would have been easier to just go around the fence, huh? You're very intriguing to me for some reason. You're such a basic shape, but you're far from basic. It's that grain pattern to it. It's just, I don't know, it gets me. Oh, I can't go through there. Love me harder. But I can't. It's as hard as I can love. For myself, I have obtained no benefit. I have done a good deed for a reptile. A reptile dysfunction. Oh. Small, sad child. I am feeling quite out of the loop on a lot of these, so I'm not sure I can really draw too many conclusions. But I can stand on the floating stone fish, which will elevate me to great heights. Thanks for your help. Alright, so we've done fish skip. This is how you get out of bounds. And now the world is your oyster, I guess. Whatever you want it to be. Oh yeah, the fish reminds me of Seaman as well, which is a lovely memory to have. Oh, cool tree. You can barely see it from the other end. Well, I make my own fate. My bounds are boundless. I don't really want to break the game too much. I just wanted to do that. Chat, how you doing? Let me get a quick wellness check. Is everybody happy and feeling good? Are you all okay? I feel like I've been going through exhibits for a while, and I haven't just stopped to see if you're doing all right. You're alive? You want me to hydrate? Okay, I'll hydrate. I've got some water as well as my creamy drink. Good idea. Stretch your legs. I'm going to do that too, actually, because I never do that. I often feel like crap when I leave the stream. Like, my legs are all stiff and my back hurts. And I'm like, I don't know if disgruntled is maybe a bit too strong, but I don't feel like my mood is as good. And it's probably because I just sit in one spot for 4+ hours. I think one of them recently was like 6+ hours. You're not really meant to do that. Don't do that. We're just going to stand up. I've heard that an important time frame to check in with is like every half an hour or so look at something far away and stand up and do some stretches real fast. Doesn't have to be like a long thing. All right. We got this little guy here. Seems to be in a KFC bag, crying. I'm sorry I couldn't make something for Zium in time. Oh no! This is my only contribution. Feel free to screenshot these 2 messages, including them in the gallery. Well, that's quaint. Screenshot. Untitled garden. Oh, I love a garden. Definitely want to go have a look around. Ooh. That was a effervescent synth hit. There's certain sounds you can hear that just make you perk right up, and that's one of them. This person made 0 degrees north, 0 degrees west. I've played that. It's a long time ago at this point, but I remember enjoying it. I feel like Proteus was so ahead of its time. I was all about that game when it was new, and I really feel like it really nailed what it was going for so effectively, with not a lot to compare itself to. Because every time I'm in one of these forests, digital, beautiful forests, I just immediately think of Proteus. Oh, I really like that, the bloom effect and how it's sort of banded like that. It's got a radiant shimmeriness to it. It's like velvety. You see what I'm saying there? That looks really nice. It's an exercise of control over the quality of the light. You see all these particles moving through it as well. There's a lot of sounds stereo positionally orienting themselves around the player. There's something resembling smoke, I suppose. Little tendrils of smoke. Is that a human figure? What is that? I guess it's a statue. Sort of a silhouette of a statue. What is coming out of it, though? Like angel wings. Maybe it's a coincidence. Oh, it might just be one of these. Cool. Oh, it's the edge of the world. A couple of plants made their way out of bounds. Shame on you, plants. Know your role, know your place. I feel like the camera control feels a little different here, but I don't know if that's even possible. The bobbing seems slower. Yeah, they must be statues. Just abstracted human forms. Oh, nature's hot dogs. Delicious. Take a loved one down to the local lake or pond, whatever you might have, and snatch yourself up some of nature's hot dogs. You won't regret it for a second. They're fresh right off the stick. You don't even have to cook them if you don't want. Make sure you bring some mustard and some napkins, because they're juicy, let me tell you what. Delicious dogs. Yeah, this place is surprisingly chill and idyllic. I don't expect anything to really change here, but I'm enjoying the atmosphere very much. This is kind of like an Indie Impressions compilation video stacked into one. Is the fire getting bigger? Oh. Didn't expect that. Is it like washing me away to another world? Huh. Just washing me. Did we ever figure out if the crack was getting bigger on that iceberg? I was thinking I was probably correct to assume it was. Just a really interesting little Easter egg there. Yeah, that was lovely. I enjoyed the garden. Untitled as it is by Color Fiction. Thank you very much for that. Oh. All of the floor tiles do that same thing, where plants grow out of them and then gradually dissipate. I didn't know that was all of them. I thought it was just that one was special. See, we saw one of those before. So whenever you zone back in, you get like a 10-20 second window to watch the plants. I love a bit of mustard. You know who else really loves mustard? Laura. She keeps saying mustard really loudly for some reason. Art is not inert. Art is consciousness. Like this cat. Cat is love, cat is life. Crack wasn't actually getting bigger. But what if it was, though? Did you consider how cool that would be? What if we just wanted to believe because it made us feel good? Because it put us in a heightened emotional sense where we felt connected to the world around us. And why are you trying to take this away from me? Can't I just have things that I like? Can't I just think the crack was getting bigger because it pleases me? I'm not hurting anyone. I'm sorry for being combative. I'm not serious. I immediately felt like I was playing Katamari just when that piano kicked in. Barrow storage by Jacob Potterfield. The barrow is a structure of interment age and purpose. I really wanted that to be a different word, and every time I tried to make it that word, it didn't happen. A surveyor with the U.S. Department of Land Management named it. The surveyor discovered the barrow on its original St. Thomas, Nevada site in 1936. Yeah, I forgot that interment was a word for a while, and after I heard myself say it a couple of times, I was like, oh yeah, that's probably a thing. I'm just being dumb. And by the way, the thing that keeps happening when I see a word that I don't initially totally get, I have this, like, very quick panic attack of, like, can I not read English now? Like, am I struggling to understand words? And then I, like, process that in the course of about 3 seconds and go, no, hang on. Let's not get carried away. We gotta take this back a couple steps. I'm really getting a little too over the top. No, I just need to, like, stop doing that. Yeah, brain really wants it to be a different word. It isn't, and then I have to work it out. The surveyor discovered the barrow on its original St. Thomas, Nevada site in 1936. He made several drawings during his visit, some of which are reproduced for this exhibition. The barrow was rediscovered again in the summer of 2009 when the water level of Lake Mead dropped significantly. The barrow structure and several hundred tons of surrounding ground material were acquired by the Zium Foundation shortly thereafter and transported to this location into the digital realm. You know, the other thing, too, is having people watching me flounder while I can't think of a word. It makes it more difficult. I don't tend to have this problem when I'm not streaming, but when I see a word that, like, breaks my brain, I, like, actually freak out slightly. Z. I keep forgetting it's Z and not E. Oh! Oh, wow. We've got quite the filter effect going on this. It's like almost old-timey film looking with all the grain and the kind of blown out colors. It's like sepia'd a little bit. Fragile. Oh man, I remember this. There was an exhibition I saw. It's a really hard cement floor that went on for ages. And in one particular location was an absolutely massive pile of broken glass. Starting at small shards and working their way up in scale to enormous shards. All stacked into sort of a haphazard pyramid-ish pile. With two, like, X-crossed supporting chunks of glass. There was, I don't think, anything stopping the public from simply diving into the pile of glass either, which made it very avant-garde and more uncomfortable, I think. But it did stick with me, actually, even though it was such a simple prospect. So interment, grave dirt. Hey, well, not to split hairs or anything, but if you really think about it, probably every ounce of dirt that exists on the earth has been grave dirt for something at some point. It's all just going around and around again. Oh, wow. The burial mound. Looks cool in there. Will they pop in? Have a little visit? There's whimsical sounds coming out. Slightly creepy sounds? Oh. Oh, what is this? An artifact for me. I get to have it and take it. I love this floor design. Kind of a silvery glint to it. That, like, slight hint of blue really makes it pop nicely. Yo, that's sick. I love that. Maybe it's the triangle, maybe it's the colors. Probably it's both. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Alright, we're gonna deliver our artifact. That's actually... that's gorgeous. I love that. There's so much implied complexity in the framing and the silhouettes and the negative space, all the things. Beautiful. It's almost got that oil glint look to it. Oh, those are 3D at the top. I didn't realize those were, like, structural fins going around. Alright. Here we go. Oh, I thought I was delivering it there. But we just went on a little adventure. But now I'm buried. I have the artifact, but I have no way out. What good is that thing? Oh. Wait a minute. This isn't the way I remember it. What on earth is going on out there? There's a bed of chaos out there. And I must crush its arm bugs. Oh. Okay, I want to play this whole game. Please. Please, I want to experience the whole game. What? Yo, this is it. Right here. This is my shit right here. That's amazing. It's got the phantasmal aqueducts, because I've been playing Elden Ring too. I know all about this shit. I wonder if this was just inspired by the Tarnished One emerging into the lands between. I don't mean to oversimplify. They may never have played Elden Ring. But I have. Oh, I'm sorry, the encoder. If I stand still, can you see this? Or if I look up slightly, maybe that's better. I know there's a lot of noise, which is taking away from the ability to have a stable frame. It's very noisy, though. Like, all of the individual textures have a glimmering to them. I don't know if that's hard to read or what from what you're seeing. Well, if you can't see it properly, that's a shame, because it's beautiful. And I'm gonna go move on then and see what we can find. Carry my artifact away to the next burial mound. They look like bow buns. Ah. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, why take one when we can have all of these? The superior number of artifacts. Is this like Indica filling up the water bucket in the well? And then the nun takes it and dumps it out, and she's like, okay, go fill it up again. I think it might be one of those. This is so pretty. I'm a simple man. You show me iridescent, beautiful gradients, I'm in. Oh my god, I feel like Frozen Elsa right now. Called to adventure. The audio's doing it too. I'm hearing organ. I thought I heard a bit of a bell, some synth. Backmasked synth. It's all very low bandwidth or low frequency, which aids to a little bit of it being slightly dissonant, as well as it's also harmonious at the same time. Rejected. Okay, I made my way out. I've got the stack of cubes. Who wants it? Maybe that's just for me. I don't know why I was drawn immediately to doing video game things when they're like, here's an object. I was like, yes, carry the object. Nowhere else in this have there been experiences like of that particular video gamey nature. But, you know, force of repetition, I guess. Oh no. I gave the cube away to the door. And it is now gone. Okay, well that's probably what we needed to see here. There's not like another entrance, is there? We just go back through. Yeah. I think that just starts the whole thing again, maybe? Like when you're holding this. No, you just leave with it. I'll deliver this to the void as well then. There, you could have it. Enjoy. It's almost definitely just dropping into the void below the wall, but it's fine. Well, sorry if that was tricky to look at. I would urge you to go have an experience with it yourself if you'd like to. It's called Storage. It's up on the second floor above the resting cat. There seems to be a wolf howling now. Oh. Awoo. Dog Castle by Nomi. Or sorry, no, Horatio Roman. A concert by the council. Cool, dog concert. Oh, he's got a fish. Woof. You're just a hound dog. Very cool vinyl. Is that a dragon? Or a really cool dog? Zitronstrasse. Can't go that way. It's like a Pika dog. You know, it'd be funny is if the watches synced up to the time changer area. Like if you adjust the time in that zone, it adjusts it for everything in the entire area as well. Oh, the Hand of the King. Okay, that was loud. Press P for dog menu. Oh, there's... Okay. Call dog, send dog away. Hi, dog. What? Am I supposed to be able to move? State confused, advance, no path. Think something's wrong?
Welcome, every doggy. Thanks for coming to my show. I'll be playing some songs from my latest album, Mr.
Oh, he's walking up the wall. What?
So,
Oh, pet it. Pet the dog.
First one is called
Come here.
Sniff Another Butt. And here comes Strolling.
The dog menu's not quite working, I'm afraid. Oh no. Oh no. I'm stuck. Can I teleport back to myself? Or teleport to storage, I guess. That's fine. It's right here. Teleport to artist. Saved. Okay, the dog's still there. The Unity engine seems not to be too happy about it. Hi. You into that? Yeah? I'd like to go visit your castle, but I don't seem to be allowed in. Is this just on? Oh. Yeah, don't go through the door, I guess. That's the stupid way. Can I go in here? I like that you have a little elevator custom built for yourself. Okay, this area seems messy. I'm probably gonna get myself soft locked. Or I guess it's not really possible so long as I can teleport. I was hoping I could go inside, but I suppose not. Okay. Thank you, dog. Enjoy your day. You seem to live here at Dog Castle, so that's cool. That's cute. Got like a whole dog spot. What's this? Oh, Dog Castle, right. Oh, creepy area. Oh, there's like a Stanley Parable attic. Tiny laptop? Is this how they made Control? Newmont. Newmont! James Crossley, Lewis Brooks, 2024. Newmont Digital's Project Space 2024. Newmont is an open-source mapping project for recording and publicizing civil unrest. This sculpture is a digital interpretation of the physical process of marking a Newmont. You can submit your own location of protest or unrest to be marked with a Newmont at newmont.xyz. Newmont. Interesting. They look like a deconstructed model, like an injection mold of a sphere. Not the sphere itself, but the thing you make the mold out of. If you sliced it into like a 16 by 16 grid and then reassembled it. I'm just guessing, but that's what I'm getting out of that. Oh, I'm familiar with this. That's the Android OS photo app. Cool. Unknown Places by Nin Saloon. We'll get to that next road in a moment. Oh, they've gradated them. There's so many places that are unknown. Are any of these known? This one's wet. Why are you so wet? I don't think a single one of these is a known place. Pretty. Imagine you could have a feed of every human eye on Earth, piped into some field of monitors. How chaotic would that look? That's beautiful. These are really lovely. Oh, I know another artist that would be a fan of this. Oh, that's great. The quality of the light bursting through the density of the cloud. They're good at that. Oh, look how striking the sun is low lighting underneath the bird. Really pops. Gotta have my pops. What is that? Like the air tree growing out. I can't say I've ever seen a cloud formation quite like that before. I've seen little rivulets and stuff, but never seen them so explicitly spherical. So brilliantly bright pink. Oh my god, that's amazing. What is that? Is that like ball lightning? Well, it's an unknown place, I'll tell you that much. That's very cozy, actually. Little rainbow action. Double rainbow action. It's just it's a smorgasbord of different weather conditions and lighting conditions. It's not all of them, but it's a lot. Beautiful work. Each one to be appreciated individually, I'd say. And then take them as a whole as well. Oh, the dark rainbow. I wonder if they took photos that these were inspired by, or, you know, various already pre-existing works. That's, yeah, you never see an image with that particular grayish, orangish, auburn haze. Night comes in many flavors. It's Sprite's red lightning that form. Isn't that the same as ball lightning? Or am I thinking of something else? The dogs are going at it again. Not like that. Ball lightning comes from UFOs? Oh, okay. I thought it comes from Magic the Gathering. They also have chain lightning. I didn't think I'd get up above the red light. I'm just all over the roofs now. I'm Assassin's Creeding this place. Ball lightning is like a mystical phenomena of a literal ball of lightning. But oh. Okay, well, that's not how I thought it was. I thought it was a real thing that didn't do that. I'm not advocating for fictional lightnings. Did I go to this area at all? Or, I'm not sure. We'll work our way over, I guess. It's true, lightning is stored in the balls. What's that? Sometimes I'm... Some might find the change to the city disconcerting. Changes turn the opening of every door into an adventure. It's a numbers game. You're bound to fail at some and succeed with others. This week you're going to do everything, be everywhere. You just can't lose this home, not this time. There is no thing to give us comfort. Sometimes I'm genuinely scared that whatever protection I manage to build will dissolve. Relatable. The outer neighborhoods divide. Oh, that's cool. I didn't think it actually had depth. Thought it was like an optical illusion. In the heart of the city, minor changes are liable to occur. They are unimportant. These bricks actually have depth, too. Oh, the Red Light District. Prop Comic Act, most ancient, 2024. Okay. I love my city. Oh, that's nice. I didn't expect them to actually float away. I kind of wish they did more stuff like that. I know it's a lot to organize, and I'm not trying to criticize, because they did a really good job with this. I wish they even activated the medium even more, but I think they also want to ride the line of it being a sort of borderline plausible scenario. Like, this almost could be an actual art exhibit. minus a few particular details, but I also wouldn't mind if they pushed it further out into the realm of less plausible, while still keeping a general grounding. I guess we've had just, like, fully surreal areas as well, which are fine and good, and I want more of that. Yeah, we talked about the tower monument. Is this... Do we start here and I just went in instead of looked around? Where does this one go? Try to... Oh, it's hard to... The barrow is a structure of interment age and purpose. A survey... Huh? Is this like an SCP reoccurring... Oh, no, it's completely different. Oh, wow. Nay-sensei in the snowfield. Frame rate's not loving the hanging particles, but I think they're very pretty. Can't go in the pipe. Oh, your tail is a plug. Well, I guess that's not the first time someone said that out loud. Whoa. A wondrous world of enchantment. Not in this direction, though. Is it supposed to look like we're in a freeze frame during a snowstorm? Or are these just for visual interest? Because there's also moving snow particles, or ash, or whatever they might be. This is a very Star Wars look to it, this wall. They were big on, like, flat slabs with random chunks extruded out of it. What can we see through? Just some boxes. Also very Star Wars of it. Tiny, tiny little rivets. This kind of looks a bit like when you're doing a concept block out of a level design, and you're trying to get a feel for the proportions and shapes of things before you've done like a refined pass to make sure everything, you know, fits the criteria and has visual flourish. We're in the trial run early stage. And I seem to be able to see underneath meshes that aren't there. Oh, I'm in the groove now. Oh, maybe that's all there is. We're just meant to go in these little alleys. Is this open? No. Not a lot of interaction, it seems. 4. We'll probably, like, find a way out of bounds. Oh, the 4 is actually extruded from the wall. Does it have collision, though? I don't think I'd be able to get on it anyway. Well, this place is a little framey, as cool as it is. I might move on. Unless there's something else I'm missing here. Oh! There's a Dome King cabbage over there. Oh, now we're talking. Oh. Forbidden Zone. Bollards. Bollards as far as the eye can see. Eventually I will fall off of physical space. Yep, there's your set dressing. Younger me might have been surprised to find out how often things you see off in the distance are simply, you know, a rectangle with a texture on it, or not even. It's just like a billboarded sprite plane with a picture, and it's so far away you don't really have any conception. I wonder why they used up so much geometry on shapes you can't even really see, because this is fully blocked from this wall. I guess they weren't really too concerned about it. Unfortunately, as I said, a bit framey in here. Maybe it's copied from another one that you can see. Or it's like a really big pillar that got extruded a bunch and then divided up. I don't know, probably overanalyzing it at this point. This is the metal grating. Just kind of, it passes through the structure because there's no reason to bother, like, clipping them off at the edges. The player would never see that, so it's just bars. I'd say in most cases that's the way it works. Or it just ends in a rectangle at the top. Maybe you contain it within another structure. You gotta render all the teeth, even if you can't see them. Well, if the model is meant to open its mouth, you probably would want to render them, yeah. Oh, I never got to meet all these folks over there. Oh yeah, there's like a whole segment I haven't looked at all. So that's back to the heart. That leads to the front entrance. So I think I'm headed back to the entrance now if I keep going this way. How do I get up to there? So I want to take this tunnel. Maybe? I actually can't tell if that drops us into there or not. Might not. I see why there's a run key now. Surprisingly vast if you know where you're going and need to get there in a relatively quick amount of time. Is there another way? Oh no, that just ends. I'm not actually sure how to get to the other side. I probably thought I was coming out in a place I had already been, but it was actually new to me and I didn't realize. Yeah, checked all that out. This is just back to the main entrance. Was there another path from the main entrance? No, I don't think so. It's just the fish. And everything I had seen was above me at the time. So, okay, I didn't do that correctly. I think you used that stairwell over there to get up to the higher floors. If you go towards where the really colorful pieces and the glitchy... Okay, I gotcha. Is it the two courtyard ones? Yeah, that'll take me back up. I guess I just haven't looked at that staircase at all yet. How do you start climbing it? Where's this? Oh, right. I just didn't take this way. I turned and went back, I think? Right, okay. Or something. I don't know. Maybe I ended up back on the roof this way as well. Ah. Of course. I stopped here, but I didn't go through here. 13 extraordinary moments reproducible in our material reality. Irreproducible. This exhibition is meant to be experienced as if every image presented here is a real photograph, painting, or art reproduction from alternative realities different from ours. I see. This image was recovered from a digital camera found under 1.5 meters of peat in Scotland. The battery was galvanized, and only its contents were miraculously recovered by a man who found it, Nixon Campbell. These images recovered presented an environment similar to tundra, with fauna such as horses, European bison, mammoths, Irish elk, and other megafauna. This estimates the taking of the pictures between middle Pleistocene and the middle Holocene. Wow. Incredible. A digital camera caught that. Oh. Oh, terrifying insects, I suppose. Oh, or unidentified masks. Digital painting. Unknown program used. Digital recreation of a lithograph seen by archaeologist Anna Zifrera during her visit to the Yucatan Archaeological Museum in 1987. I didn't have the opportunity to work with it. I only had a brief time with the piece while doing other tasks in the museum. Apparently this is the only evidence these three masks existed, just a bunch of ink hidden in a museum collection. Interesting. They're very shocking. And they look like animals. They look like insects. Oh, it's this! I know this picture. I've been looking at this picture on the internet for freaking years. Alright, what's the explanation for this thing? Photography taken by Juliana Vasquez one summer night in 1999. The encounter lasted approximately 10 minutes, which felt eternal for Juliana. As both stared at each other without moving, this creature stepped back into the night, accidentally tearing off the curtains in the process. Usually when I've seen this, it seems more naturalistic, like there's less of a painterly quality. Did they put it through another filter or something? There's something very jarring and sharp about the lighting. Maybe we see a larger, less cropped version of this, traditionally. Because I've seen it for a moment, I'm like, wait, is that like a real image? Until I look at it again. And in this, I don't think I would be convinced. But that's okay. It's very odd looking, and I like it. Oh. Mystical turtle. Golden blue. Mineral pigments on wooden panel, age unknown. Exquisite representation of a turtle with a spirit face growing on its shell. The gold leaves are disintegrating, allowing the viewer to see the lapis lazuli used to form the turtle. This painting was found in an antiquary shop in the prefecture of Totori. The owner doesn't know the age of the painting. He said it was passed from his grandfather to his father. On the back, it is written in kanji made by the saddest of men. So it's like cursed turtle. Very strange. Sackboy in crab spirit form. It's the crab's soul. The infamous Reticent Peninsula. Encounter occurred in 2005 to a small fishing party that was close to the coast rocks. Looking for crabs to use as bait, one of the crabs on the rocks started convulsing, and from it a ghostly humanoid emerged, and the photo was taken. And then there's a wild light over it, too. And it has a horseshoe. But it's not a horseshoe crab. What about its crab buddies? Are they also humanoid? I do appreciate the large number of crabs represented here. This photograph was taken in 2020 by Javier Ramirez near Sierra Norte, Spain. Only after he revised the camera gallery did the caprine figures appear. Not when he took it on the spot. 2 years later, a cave system was discovered adorned with ochre and charcoal, with a full mural of extinct mammals present, including 3 caprine figures. I did say Nort, didn't I? Norton antivirus. What's this? 13 extraordinary moments, irreproducible. Yeah, okay. I saw that on the way in. Oh, wow. I think I've also seen this image before, but not like this. It's been heavily edited, clearly. Digital photography. In 2011, Loretta Mills put a series of trail cameras to discover what animals were disturbing her family's quality of sleep. The only thing she knew was that at least there were wolves near the property. Among the raccoons, foxes, and small animals photographed by the cameras, there was the archive present here, an unidentified deer species with star-like adornments across their body and crowned heads. It seems that the camera disturbed them while taking the pictures. They were never seen or heard from since. It's very home safety hotline, isn't it? Whoa, what in the hell? I don't even understand that. Is that like part of its head and then the other thing is holding it up? Symbiotic relation. Oh, I guess it is that. Okay, the image, this image was submitted to a rural newspaper in Mongolia without accreditation to its sender and without extra information. The only conclusion is that at least is a veridic photography of unknown origin. I don't know. Is that written oddly? Because it's like a very difficult sentence to parse. The only conclusion is that at least is a veridic photography. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the alcohol or something. I'm just like really having a hard time with weird words today. What is this? I think I've seen this one too. I've just been on the internet too much. This one's very intriguing. And again, I think it's cropped more than usual. I remember being really fascinated by this eye or whatever it is. Good night, Rolf. Photography provided by the Department of Justice, Lusvania. The creature present in the image was found dead and decomposing in the summer house of redacted location and redacted. The police were called due to the putrid odor emitted by the body, alarming the entire neighborhood. Laboratory analysis declared that the fungal colonies growing in the humanoid flesh share the exact same genetic code, suggesting that maybe it's part of its life cycle. Unknown origin. It's very colorful. Seems to have a lime on it. Yeah, that one's my favorite so far. I think I even know this artist? Weren't they a prolific Magic the Gathering artist for a long time, and then they kind of struck out on their own and they do graphic novels and like freelance work now? It's that red to white gradation that I'm always... Or it's like a pinkish red. They do a lot with that. Sunset in Shimoni? In Shimoni, it is a usual tourist destination to see the sun set up in the mountains. The red colors due to the high concentration of iron. The unusual thing is seeing the local cryptids taking turns to bathe in the last sunrays of the day. Oh, lovely. Gwyneth Penry's stars. The animals were originally reported by Sojourn Marine on 12th of March 2009 when she was aboard the vessel Nautilus 1.2. The animals were observed about half a meter below the surface before surfacing and swimming towards the boat, lifting flippers. Although there were more than 200 dolphins in the area, neither they nor the animal took any notice of one another. Sure what I'm supposed to get from that. Is that all happening, or is that abstract? Oh, my flesh limits me. Oil on wooden panel. I suppose it's abstract. This painting was discovered behind a space between walls in a Romanian church during a restoration project. There was no signature present on the painting, and the visual style doesn't help in its identification. The only approximation dating is in the construction of the church between 1500 to 1590. It represents a sick man with malnutrition and malformed legs, perhaps a very early example of biographical art. Is it that notable that we would not know who painted something? Like, tons of paintings like that. Oh, weird. They're like little clay frogs. The last scene. Analog photography, unknown model. This photograph is the last evidence of the existence of inorganic life forms known by the last indigenous people of the North Pacific coast. They were declared extinct by the same man who took the photo in 1976. Inorganic life forms. A sip. Oh. It's a very intimidating space. Spots by Nicola Ackler. My spots? What does that sound? Kinda creepy. Is it a alien? It's coming from all around me. Oh, I can shoot the ball around. But why? Oh, it's like a little mini game. I just give it lots of acceleration and it climbs. Alright. Yeah. Oh. Ball can't go that way. What will I do? Go the other way? Oh, no, I can go up now. Sorry, I misunderstood what that meant. Alright, I am a very smart gamer. I do game all day. And I do understand controllers, sort of. Buttons and sticks. So far, I'm winning so hard. Yeah. Do a little back, then a little forward. Another jump. Oh. I'm in a box. How did I get in this box? How will I get out of this? Oh, I've broken the box. Now I will grow. Grow and go. Now I'm in a bigger box. Are you gonna break me out? That would be sick if I broke through. Oh. I believe I have one, and the orb is now mine. To do with what I will. Which is slam dunk it into this tree stump. You ever just want to slam dunk an orb? Yeah, you did. Of course you did. You're only human. I've been spotted. Ah! Scared me. The sound design was doing a lot of heavy lifting there. That sounded really good. Jesus Christ, did not expect that. What on earth is going on here? I thought I walked into a room of, like, gore, and this was, like, intestine stuff hanging down. I didn't process the imagery at all when I first saw it. I prefer this, actually. Lazy... a Panda? By Chen Taco. An artwork made with a clay dough shader. Okay, we like that. I've seen some very compelling painterly shaders that have been added by people to Blender. It's very much like Magic now, how much you can do. Skaterbot. My continued tries in painting my models a little funky, a little goofy. Yeah, they're cute. I like them. This reminds me a little of Demon Turf, the main character, Beebs. Stromby. It's an unjumpable Stromby. Juana Flippa. A little baby that I love. Oh. Dazzling. I very much enjoy this super clean kind of architectural style. It's so satisfying the way the lines interact. Very good. Oh, forgot to hide the radio. Hang on. Missed the placard for that. It almost looks like you could rotate... If this was all a big cylinder or a rectangle, like you could rotate the whole thing around and then the wall would be the floor and it would kind of still work. Ruins of My Hometown #1, Lure Noise. Done in Krita. A-series paper proportions. All 4 pieces in this series are reimaginations of places near where I live. In this one, I wanted to explore the aesthetical interest I find in water interacting with human-made places. It's very good. Oh, I thought for a moment that there was depth as I walked. Like, I thought that the foreground was parallaxing compared to the gradation, but no. It's just my imagination. That looks so nice. That scale of it is great, too. When I was a little kid, my mother used to take me to the train station this piece is based on. I really enjoyed watching the trains go by. Overgrown landscapes have a quiet melancholy I truly like. I can see it. Oh, fluffy birds. They're keeping warm. They're trying their best. Wow. So detailed. So many rungs, so many tiles. Water again in this one. I took a picture of the architectural bit of the illustration when getting out of the hospital. Removing it from its surroundings seemed interesting. I prefer not to draw people in this kind of piece. Artificial lights are attractive too. That reminds me of the game Sable a bit. Well, it would have been desert instead of plains, but you know. This one differs a bit from my previous 3, in that it's not actually a place near my home, but near a close friend's one. There is a haunting quietness after it snows, which I wanted to transmit, both with the rock doves here, and the thick-lipped gray mullets in the first piece. In this illustration, I also wanted to draw really common animals around here, which people sometimes look down on. I love them dearly, though. Did these get out of order? I'm not sure. It feels like that description was meant to go with that one, but I'm not sure. Yeah, there's only been a handful of games that look quite like that. It's always a real pleasure when you find one. I'm completely blanking on the name of it now. The surrealist puzzle game where you're trapped in like an infinite fractal in every direction. That has that kind of look to it. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. I swear, there's something wrong with my brain. Manifold Garden, thank you. That's not something I should be forgetting. Yeah, if you've never seen Manifold Garden and you like puzzle games, absolutely look into that one. It's great. It's not an indictment, the fact that I forgot it. It's just I have, like, stress memory problems, I think. Oh, are we doing PS1 style jostling of the models? Like, maybe. Untitled. Kylan Ali Snowden using Snap Shader. Ah, that's what it is, okay. Yeah, it's not quite the same as the way the PS1, what is it, Z-buffer thing, but it's got that kind of feeling to it. Oh wow, that's trippy. If you look at the badges especially, it's like you're looking at them through a weird lens. The way they jump. Oh, right, yeah, if you have motion sickness, that could be a real problem with Manifold, because of the way that it loops back on itself like that. The Door Problem, based on an essay of the same title by Liz England. Let's look at this room. I'll do that before we walk out. Mind the Gap. English things. Find out how England is keeping the channel English. I don't want to make any weird statements here, but, like, I've seen the way that America likes to jingoistically associate positive sentiments with America as a concept, and I feel like that's what's happening right here. I might be wrong. In 1994, Britain, France, and Belgium collectively launched the Eurostar, a high-speed train that runs through the then recently completed Channel Tunnel, or Channel. A historic first, this joint venture connected England to mainland Europe in the most literal sense. In 2013, 7 years before Brexit, the UK government announced it will be selling off its remaining ownership as a stake as of the Eurostar as part of our long-term plan to secure Britain's future. In this diorama, you'll find a recovered collection of ephemera from an imagined reveal at a late 80s trade show, playing with the idea of what a solely British-made and owned alternative to the Eurostar might have looked like. How specific. Wanted to explore the kind of language I grew up reading, the marketing and advertising Britain in the 80s and 90s. Frustrating mix of mild but toxic xenophobia. Oh, I picked up on that without even realizing it. A mix of mild but toxic xenophobia and bland, exhausted phrases referencing a culture with little to celebrate and much to make up for. Fair. I have been to a few museums. Yeah, I haven't been to as many as I'd like. Mostly ones in Dublin. Flying Machine by Igor... Is it Igor? Dimos. It's a wild color scheme for it. It's very fantasy, but in a fun way. Well, fantasy probably does imply fun, but... it's wondrous, I guess, is a way of saying it. But also still looks like near plausible, except for maybe the VTOL thing. Alright, what's this one then? The Door Problem, a playable essay by T-Makes Games. Inspired and based on the 2014 Door Problem, okay. So don't go in the door?
Suppose you want to make a game.
Okay.
And your game idea needs doors.
Oh, right.
Where do you even start?
I know about the door problem.
You may start with level design, blocking out various rooms that connect with the door frame.
This is cool.
Here you decide on the scale of the environment, the size of the door frame, but now what? Programming a door is a challenge in itself. You may start with a placeholder.
Yeah, I didn't know there was...
a scaled cuboid that disappears at the right moment.
This was the door problem they meant, yeah. We did it. Cute.
Suppose you want to make a game.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to keep going and we're going to
But what about doors that the player can open? Should they interact with the door using a button press, or should the door open automatically when a player gets close? These are design questions. And at some point, you'll also have to decide how the doors move. Do they slide? Do they rotate?
Probably the easiest way for them to function would be as if they could just slide directly into the wall. Into a space that already exists, but can be completely ensconced by that space. I guess you could leave, like, the edge of it still visible or what. But for collision reasons, once you start getting into rotating things or, you know, the usual things you expect a door to do, it adds a bunch more complication, especially once you bring in the potential effects of pathfinding or the way that noise or audio propagates. I suppose they'll probably touch on that. I don't remember the original source material very well. How they visualize the sector you could walk into. Slide or rotate? Slide. There it is. You know, like the way the Japanese sliding doors work, the paper doors, that would probably be perfect. Just do that. None of this, yeah, none of this Duke Nukem 3D build engine stuff. Don't need that. Oh, it actually goes both ways. That's another factor. If you try to open it, it typically would.
What about doors that the player can open?
It would go the same way either direction you walk through it. If you walked this way, it would still come toward you, but if you walk through it the first way, it'd go out. That's another step for it to open two different ways.
Now, let's make it look like a proper door. There's various different disciplines involved.
Yeah.
Making a 3D model for the door, creating a texture and unwrapping it onto the model. Maybe you also want some more elaborate animation where the door handle wiggles.
Yeah, then you're keyframing that, and you've got a separate handle that you now need to add to it. Now you've got two different meshes linked by the same command. Or maybe you want the Amnesia-style door where you actually have a physically motivated hand moving the door at a speed of your choice with velocity and things. It's wild when you think about how almost every game has this. Or tremendous numbers of them do anyway, not almost every.
And what would a door be without a nice sound effect to go with it? This one actually uses 3 sounds, but you can get a bit wilder with it. If you're a solo indie developer like me, you may try to do a lot of this work yourself, but eventually you'll cut corners and use other people's work. It's important to document the assets you use, checking their license and crediting them if necessary, or even just because you're nice.
Do it because you're nice, but also do it because it's like the legally required way that you do it. I know, it's super annoying to have to keep track of all that stuff, but like, you really don't want to get the reputation as the type of person who would grab assets without actually crediting. And to make sure, of course, that the licensing is in order before you even attempt to use those assets, because you're only setting yourself up for problems later. I get that it's tempting to use stuff for placeholder and swap it out before you build a public thing, but you never know, and you're setting yourself up for such a lot of trouble later if you sort of lose track of a few things and then end up going, ah shit, which ones of these do I have rights for and which don't I? Wouldn't it be so much of a load off your mind to not have to consider the licensing requirements before you like submit a build, right? It's just better to not have to do that. But anyway, not everybody has the luxury, I suppose.
There's a lot of open questions.
Yeah.
Are there decorative doors in your game?
Yeah, how do you
How does the
differentiate
player tell the difference?
which one's open?
What about locked doors?
Yeah,
How does
does
the player
handle
know they
wiggle?
can unlock it later? What happens if the door closes with the player between the door and the door frame?
Right, and what if you use the door to trigger a
There's an
loading
infinite
sequence?
number of questions you may ask about the doors in your game. I haven't even begun talking about multiplayer and interactions with non-player
Yep.
characters.
Synchronicity.
I hope this illustrates that making a game isn't just coding, it's dozens of different disciplines that all have to work in harmony to create such mundane things that players probably don't even think about.
This might be the stupidest question I've ever asked, but like, is exposing these sorts of questions to the public in a larger way, is this something people are hungry for? Because this door problem certainly seems to have garnered quite a lot of inquisitiveness. And that's like the thing I love to talk about, is to try to bridge the gap between the magic of game development and the people who want to know more about it. But maybe aren't interested fully in becoming game developers, but they want to know a lot more about the thing they love. I feel like I could have potentially brought this to light in some way, and maybe there are other similar or adjacent topics that I could actually discuss. I'm just not great at presenting things, I suppose. There you go. There's your lock door. I'm thinking what they did here is they've got like 3 or 4 keyframes, and they just picked a random one that the door snaps to, because sometimes it even snaps to the one it's already on. Or maybe it's just any range of angle between point A and point B. It's just not a very wide range, so it just looks the same. Is that where we end this? Okay. Yeah, this is great. I'd love to see more stuff like this. Oh, there's like a hidden blue light back there. What's that? The world may never know. Okay, I can get back there. Not easily, anyway. Or can I? This seems like a lot of effort. No, okay, there's no collision on the beams. What's going on here? Oh. I love ledges like this, but they're very not good for public spaces. They're very fun to look at and maybe even to sit on, but then you know kids are gonna like run up this and dive off of it and destroy themselves. You can't really risk that, unfortunately. As much fun as it might be to have. Untitled, Pol Clarisau. I'm pretty sure I know their name. During the period of development of the 2024 edition of the Zium, a genocide is unfolding in the real world. It is ongoing at the time of writing this statement. After more than 6 months of systematic death, mutilation, displacement, starvation, and violence against Palestinians in Gaza and increasingly the West Bank at the hand of the settler colonial state of Israel, following the total collapse of the Palestinian Health Authority in Gaza, the deaths have become impossible to account for, and we know that an official count of 37,263 Palestinians killed is a vast underestimation. Museums pretend to be receptacles for history, but their effect is oftentimes the reverse. The distanciation? Yeah, I guess the creating of distance of art pieces from their context, encasing them instead of in a supposedly timeless display where they can be appreciated for their aesthetics and separated from the world in which they were made. This year, the specter of the genocide in Gaza is haunting the museum. Artists in Gaza have been massacred, and artists in the rest of the world are getting involved in solidarity struggles with Palestinian people. This piece was put together with materials originally created for or gathered during the weekly marches in Gaza in Teotihuacan. Sorry, I'm not sure how to say those. Kanyan Keha Nation, Montreal, Canada, itself a settler colony. Apologies, I didn't say that correctly. I know I didn't. Yeah. Well, now I understand why that looks the way it does. I feel like the scale and scope of death that's occurring is so unfathomable that anything I say is entirely irrelevant. Like, I can't even begin to explain the horrors that are unfolding in the situation. And it's been completely unmitigated for such a long time now that I don't even understand what there is to say anymore. It's unbelievable that this could happen. wow. I haven't even seen any of these staircases at all. Or this staircase, rather. And it goes both up and down. Alright, I guess let's see what's at the bottom first, and then I'll go back up, because this probably connects to somewhere I've been. If something mystifies you... What? And... Is that and? Or is there a and or a T there? I don't know what that is. If something mystifies you and understand it, you must not... Oh, it's cut off. There's supposed to be more characters there. You must look closer, I think it's... Okay, there's like a big chunk of the text that didn't come through. You must look further away, as you have not experienced enough of existence for this message to reach you yet. Even if you heard it, you would not know it. Right. It did mystify me. Yeah, maybe that was part of the point. Oh, it's the other side of these doors that I said seemed like they would open? Oh. It's a Dark Souls. Thanks very much, Ewan, for gifting a sub to Sweater Parrot. That's your 11th gift subscription. Thanks very much for that. It's not a Dark Souls. This is a joke. The lever does not actuate. With E, F... Oh, Z. I didn't try Z yet. I forgot it was Z. Not a joke. Oh, but now it covers part of the text. Expression of an artist... Something the universe itself. The artist is the foundation... Or sorry, is the fountainhead of the cosmos and vice versa. I see. Okay, so this is just so we could loop back around. I'm not sure why this would be locked on one side. But I guess to give us that feeling of exploring something and opening it up from another way. Oh! Everything's fine. Definitely didn't just fall a floor and catch myself in the window. I was kind of hugging the right wall a little hard there. That's my own fault. Imagine someone did that and just tried to, like, play it off. Like an actual person in a museum. I mean, just kind of fell a floor, caught themselves, got back up, and just didn't even, like, think about it. Just kept walking. No big deal. Just, you know, everything's fine. Don't pay any attention. Don't want to make it weird. Art is elusive. Art is obvious. This building was built on top of the infrastructure of an old mine and an old quarry, a very profitable mine and quarry, which essentially funded the first legislation that cemented Europe II and Switzerland as recognized territories. The quarry then supplied both Europe II and Old Europe with precious minerals, Marie. For decades after, it was a real gold mine. Respectfully, there have been a tremendous number of spelling errors and, like, grammar errors and stuff in the text here. And I would love to see another pass done, just for, like, you know, for the record. Because it does kind of take me out a bit when I keep having to go, like, is that meant to say that, or am I reading it wrong? Because that is something you would hope when a bit of text gets committed to a museum that they have proofread it multiple times. And a lot of these are like pretty simple errors to be fixed unless, I don't know, I guess in this case maybe the text has been committed onto an image, and so changing it now isn't as simple as just changing a string of text. It's on something, which means you got to edit the original source and export it and then import it into the game and change it around, so maybe it's a whole pain in the ass, actually. Biophobia. Charlotte Madelon. Madelon. Madelon? From the game Biophobia. Okay. I think my brain is shutting down now. Oh, that's very pretty. I'm sorry I ruined your name with my pronunciation. It's very El Shaddai, actually. It's got that ethereal, like, heavenly aura about it. Pretty rough image to look at, though. Impactful, difficult to look at. It's what we like in art. We don't like it as much on Twitch streams, but not for any reason of judgment, just like, you know. Plant your flag and bang your drum. We are born with one of each. Get a flag and a drum? Shit, I got ripped off. I only got a drum. So best to do something with them, I feel. A warm meal in the coldest places is just the coldest meal in the hottest place. Some of these are a little shower thoughtsy, you know? The King. Paul Lancelot. What's the King up to these days? Oh, he's got that curtain from the lobby area. Oh, I know you. You look like the Berserk guy. A little bit anyway. The head does, not the rest of them as much. You know the Berserk guy, one of the Demon King guys? Oh, I see your crown shadow. And I can stand on your shoulders? Oh, the king hates that. And stand on the king's shoulders. You're very tall and imposing, as kings often are. It's a little nightmare's enemy, I could see it. What's this? Fascinating. It's like abstract SNES polygonal creatures. Pathfinder by Juice Egremont. Juiced. Jost? Oh man, I could totally see like a Risk of Rain de-resed looking like this. Like a Risk of Rain 2, I mean. That's really good, actually. I really like that. The angles and the colors on it are great. You made a lot out of a little. That's Cartographer. It's very like Sega Saturn era kind of look to it, but like it would have actually been a little bit more detailed in Sega Saturn, but it's like the essence of it. Yeah, these are all really good. Oh, that's so good. That's Grid Runner. I could see because they're doing the grid running. I love that they interrupted the grid with those circles, and it didn't just cross through it. Or maybe I should have said 32X. It's kind of more 32X looking than Sega Saturn, but it's a little bit of both. Yeah, it's very kinetic, it's dynamic, it has a lot of energy to it. I'm saying the same thing like 3 times in a row. If you ever want to get into art criticism, you just gotta learn like a dozen synonyms for the same few ideas and just kind of cycle through them on a list, like in a loop. Untitled by Grigory Kurusu. I like it. Oh, I can have it. I didn't know this was for me. It's my very own Gantz ball. But it's a little fluffier than usual. Yeah, it's kind of terrifying. Also, I could stand on it? Oh. The keys. I have the keys now. I have the keys. Where will we go? Oh, to Silent Hill, evidently. But press N.
This wing is almost all figures of people, or at least people-adjacent things. After climbing up a long, dark staircase and being surrounded by this much concrete, it's almost a relief to see the nature of Charlotte Madeleine's biophobia. Although there's decay and internal organs on display, the person in question seems relaxed, almost inviting the viewer to relax too, whatever their initial revulsion. Then there's Paul Lancelot's the King, who seems placid and benevolent enough, despite their presumed power. Finally, Joost Eggermann's geometric figures evoke a different place, one brighter and more angular than this one. But in the end, these are all basically people, somehow familiar. Not so for Grigory Kurusu's donut machine. This is one of the few interactive artworks in the gallery, and yet interacting with it doesn't necessarily feel right, or at least it feels inhuman after the rest of the wing. But with the wing continuing to highlight the bunker-like setup carved out of the mountain, the strange architecture and the ever-present tower to the stars still looming, Donut Machine also feels somehow like it fits right here in the exposition more than any person does.
So I started sort of chuckling there, not because of anything they said in the narration, that was all lovely. At the bottom of my glass of my drink was a red piece of glitter from a party my wife had like 2 years ago, and it found its way into my drinking glass, despite literally washing it just before putting anything in. I didn't drink it, it's just in there. I remember the glitter because it was everywhere, and it still is now. And I almost drank it. That's why I was laughing. One single fleck of red glitter. Yo, that's cool. I would talk to that orb. That orb commands me to do missions. Oh, very nice. I resent a little that you took away my climbing orb, though. Oh, you've exchanged it for a... Right, the donut. Which, as a fellow Blender user, I have to respect. It's a fair exchange. Is that the only exchange we may make here? Cube within a cube? Yeah, okay. Well, enjoy the circle. I have no doubt you'll love it. Oh, I can get another one anyway. Every time I want to, I could just bring one in and get a donut. That's nice. Yeah, it has to be a blender. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's so strict, but it does have to be. Excuse me. Right. Okay, we're back here again. I think that completes the loop. We've seen the upper floor. We've seen the second upper floor, we've seen the middle floor, we've seen the lowest floor, we've seen the roof. And we've certainly seen the massive cat. who I would love to go cozy up to if possible, but I'm not sure if that cat has any collision. I don't know why it would. Whoa. Ah, I've done it now. Oh. Well, that's very sweet. Reminds me of my guy, Mr. Kittens. Just a giant soft tabby for you to rest with. It's nice of them to include a collision plane here. I wouldn't have expected one. Oh. Oh, he can get back up too. Neat. Well, that was an excellent experience. I thoroughly enjoyed. I hope you did as well. I love these sorts of museums because you never know what you're gonna find in them. They could go in any number of directions with it, and this one kept it pretty close to reality in a lot of ways. Like, they kind of instanced the abstract stuff into their own areas. But you could go really bonkers with it too if you wanted. And you know, I'm open to those experiences too, so. There are also 3 other galleries of some sort by these same people, and I downloaded all of them. My intent being, if this one was very quick, maybe we'd visit those too. Oh, you can't even fall? Can I just walk out? Ah, okay. It resets you. Yeah, I figured they'd have to handle something about that. Right. Have we completed the catalog then? Yeah, 42 of 42. We have indeed completed every part of the catalog. It's all here, all accounted for. Good stuff. Oh, not this one though. Unless that... It says I've discovered all of them, so maybe that's intended to be there like that. Don't quite know what that means. Well, that was the Zium Exposition. It was an in-depth search through quite a lot. A lot of content here to look at. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I walked past something but didn't view it. Alright, fair enough. Well, extra bonus secret for you to find whatever I missed, I guess.